Good evening, and thank you for joining us. In his first sit-down interview with TVB News since taking office, the newly appointed Commissioner of Police Joe Chow said the force will not change their stance towards applications for public processions and assemblies, given the ongoing risks. Chow also vowed to strengthen publicity of national security along with the use of more tech and surveillance cameras. The new Commissioner of Police Joe Chow has outlined 3 directives for his work right after taking office. Front and center is raising Hong Kong people's awareness about national security. Chow said he hopes to strengthen national security publicity to a level similar to that of the anti-scam campaigns. They include education efforts. Turbocharging national security education will be a priority as well, but will that encroach on the purview of Education Bureau?
Still, quite a large number of member of public, they have not very thorough idea about what do we mean by national security. Instead, that it's not only about enforcement, but we are also talking about many other areas, such as the, for example, the cybersecurity or technology. It is the duty of everyone, every citizen in Hong Kong, that to safeguard the national security. So I don't think that there's any overlapping, or we will any duplicate efforts.
Applications for public assemblies, public meetings might be getting a little bit harder these days after the 2019 social unrest. Do you think the government or the police can do something to change the public perception?
During the black turmoil, that many organizers, they tried to apply for some so-called public order event, but in fact, they were only trying to establish a platform for other violence protesters.
Do you think the public atmosphere has changed? Do you think the police would kind of ease or facilitate more such applications?
The overall situation in Hong Kong seems like very stable, but inevitably that there are some undercurrents that we are mindful about that. So that's why for all kind of this kind of applications, we have to seriously, very cautiously to do the threat assessment.
On calls for more transparency after concerns that police have released fewer details of national security cases in recent days, Chow said more information will be unveiled during court trials. Another direction, the use of technology to improve efficiency. Chow said the police have installed 615 surveillance cameras, which help crack down on 226 crime cases. They aim to install 2,000 by the end of this year and 2,500 additional cameras every year over the coming few years. They're also mulling improved surveillance connections with other government departments to prevent and combat crime. The force is also studying the possibility of introducing robotic dogs and drones to help with patrols and other tasks. With the government proposing to raise the charges of fixed penalty tickets against traffic offences, when asked if the police would incorporate more tech into the ticketing process to minimize confrontations, Chow said the key lies in the mindset, because traffic-related casualties in 2024 were 4 times the death toll from murder. The Democratic Party held a special general meeting today to authorize a central committee to follow up on the party's dissolution work. Party Chairman Low Kin Hei said while the timetable for the dissolution is not confirmed yet, it's likely the party will officially be disbanded around next year. Speaking to the press after the meeting, Democratic Party Chairman Low Kin Hei said more than 100 members attended the meeting. More than 90% of them agreed to approve authorization for the Central Committee to follow up on the party's disbandment.
There are a lot of questions raised by our members, including how we come to this decision and why we tend to dissolve the party, and how are we going to proceed in the future. So we will proceed to find an accountant and some legal expert to supervise and give opinions to our dissolution.
Low said money from the liquidation of his property should not be distributed to party members, but should be transferred to institutions sharing the party's mission. But overseas institutions won't be considered.
Let's see what happens in the future. But yes, we will keep on working with our current issues.
Lowe said they won't hold another general meeting over the coming months, but will continue to tap members' view towards the dissolution in the form of exchange seminars. Founded in 1994 and once the city's largest political party, the Democratic Party is also the oldest pro-democracy party in Hong Kong. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration granted exclusions from steep reciprocal tariffs to smartphones, computers, and some other electronics imported largely from China, providing a big break to tech firms like Apple that rely on imported products. The exemptions have retroactive effect from April 5th, while the notice gave no explanation for the move. Imports into the U.S. from China are subject to tariffs of 145%, a 20% fentanyl-linked levy, and another 125% of reciprocal tariffs. Nasser Karim with more.
Apple Chief Executive Officer Tim Cook was among several big tech executives who embraced Donald Trump when he was elected president for the second time. Apple has also long embraced Chinese manufacturing, having spent decades building a complex supply chain in China for its array of products. Time and costs are major obstacles in preventing companies such as Apple moving their factories to the US. But Cook and his big tech peers heaved a huge sigh of relief as the Trump administration said it would exempt 20 product categories, including smartphones and computers, largely made in China, from steep tariffs. On Air Force One, Trump was questioned on the reasons for the new exemptions.
I'll give you that answer on Monday. We'll be very specific on Monday. But we're taking in a lot of money. As a country, we're taking in a lot of money.
The exclusions only apply to reciprocal tariffs, which rose to 125% for goods imported from China. The previous 20% tariff linked to the fentanyl crisis remains. Analysts say that even at a lower 54% tariff on Chinese imports, a top-end Apple iPhone may rise to $2,300 from $1,599. At 125% tariffs, US-China trade could virtually halt. In 2024, the US imported $41.7 billion worth of smartphones from China, with Chinese-built laptop computers second at $33.1 billion. The latest exemption in a topsy-turvy tariff campaign benefits the likes of Apple, Samsung, and chipmaker Nvidia, among others. It is likely to see a rally in tech stocks when Wall Street reopens on Monday. U.S. Customs and Border Protection said items such as smartphones, laptops, hard drives, flat panel monitors, and some chips would qualify for exemption, along with machines to make semiconductors. Meanwhile, China's Commerce Minister Wang Wentao said the flurry of U.S. tariff hikes could inflict severe harm on developing and least developed countries, with the potential to trigger humanitarian disasters. In a video call with World Trade Organization Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Wang described the tariffs as a typical form of unilateral bullying. Nazri Karim, TVB News.
Financial Secretary Paul Chan said he will actively woo Chinese companies listed overseas to return and go public in Hong Kong. This amid escalating Sino-U.S. trade tensions and recent reports indicating that U.S. President Donald Trump may plan to delist Chinese stocks from U.S. markets. In its blog, the finance chief said Hong Kong has established a regulatory framework that facilitates dual listings or secondary listings for companies already floated overseas. He has instructed the Securities and Futures Commission and the Hong Kong Stock Exchange to be prepared. So if these Chinese firms wish to return, Hong Kong must become their preferred listing destination. Welcome back. UK Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds says, in hindsight, Britain should not have let Jinye or any Chinese company own British Steel, now the country's last remaining factory that makes steel from scratch. Jinye wanted to close the facility, putting thousands of jobs at risk. Emergency legislation was passed to save livelihoods, putting the government in charge of running the British Steel plant in Lincolnshire. The Labour government is saying it may go further and nationalise all steel production. David Garrett reports.
The House was sitting, A hastily called weekend sitting of the UK Parliament, the first since the Falklands War with Argentina in 1982. The Labour government putting emergency powers in place to save the Lincolnshire British steel plant that Xingye were to close. The Chinese company saying it is no longer financially viable. With more than 3,000 jobs at stake, political pressure on Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who sat alongside as new laws were passed to give the Business Secretary, Jonathan Reynolds, the power to intervene. The hastily drawn-up legislation cleared both chambers in one day.
That a message has been received from the Lords as follows. The Lords agree to the steel industry special measures bill without amendment.
Starmer met with workers to tell them their jobs would be safe. The Prime Minister says the problem had been rumbling on for a while, but now was the time they had to act. Xingye representatives, who say the plant was losing close to $1 million a day, were reportedly blocked from entering the plant. Starmer could take his plans for British steel nationwide and beyond these smoking towers in Scunthorpe.
Nationalisation will have a cost. The government have committed over £2.5 billion to transitioning the steel industry to a green steel industry.
Union leaders and workers celebrated achieving their goals at Scunthorpe United Football Club, known as The Iron. The factory has been part of the community for 150 years.
It works in partnership. You know, we nearly went out of business as a football club. The steelworks came together, we all worked together. It's one big community. You know, without the steelworks, you wouldn't have a community.
There wouldn't be a town, there'd be nothing left. The steelworks would be gone, all the father figures of the family and the community, their jobs would be gone.
Starmer has got his wish to keep the furnaces burning. If the heat had gone out, and that could have happened within days, the fires are difficult and expensive to reignite. David Garrett, TVB News.
The health risk category of the Air Quality Health Index in Hong Kong reached a very high level today. The observatory also said Hong Kong experienced its driest April morning since 1984. The Environmental Protection Department noted that under the influence of a dusty airstream associated with a northeast monsoon, the background levels of pollutants have become higher. While the monsoon has moderated gradually, winds in Hong Kong are expected to weaken and become unfavorable to pollutant dispersion. Authorities noted the concentration of fine suspended particulates, or PM2.5, which could affect human health directly, recorded a relatively low increase. With a health risk category in the very high range or above, children and the elderly, as well as people with respiratory or heart illnesses, are advised to reduce physical exertion or outdoor activities. Financial Secretary Paul Chan said today Hong Kong is eager to form new trading partnerships amid geopolitical tensions. Chan made the remarks at the opening ceremony of the InnoX exhibition in Wan Chai. Memo Sangai reports.
The InnoX Fair kicked off at the Convention and Exhibition Center, gathering more than 500 exhibitors from 17 countries and regions. The fair presents the public with different aspects of innovation and technology, including the low-altitude economy, AI robotics, and smart mobility. Among the low-altitude economy exhibitors, this mainland company has developed an electric aerial car, which can travel a total distance of 200 kilometers and accommodate 1 pilot and 5 passengers. Having completed its first public test flight in June last year, the aerial car will be used in 3 scenarios: transport, tourism, and emergency rescues.
Can take off and landing vertically and land it on the rooftop of the skyscrapers or the traditionally airports. Hong Kong is a perfect place for the companies from the mainland. This low tax rate and the international employees environment here is very good for the future development.
Speaking at the opening ceremony of the fair, Financial Secretary Paul Chan said the city is looking for new trade collaborators.
In these turbulent times, Hong Kong remains open and welcoming to business and talents from all over the world. We are eager to establish new connections and forge new partnerships. These are in our DNA. Rest assured that our free port status and free trade policy remain unshaken.
Meanwhile, Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry, Sun Dong, said the SAR can overcome the existing geopolitical challenges by remaining liberal and creative. Moments 9, TVB News.
Today is the final day of the Songkran Festival in Kowloon City, which celebrates the traditional Thai New Year. Many visitors took part in water fights. Water fights took place all over the Kowloon City Carpenter Road Park. Weapons such as water guns and buckets were used to soak opponents. Those who wish to stay dry and taste Thai snacks are able to visit numerous booths on the site. Other Thai experiences are also available, including dressing in traditional costume and receiving a 15-minute Thai-style massage. And that's the news. Thank you for watching and have a great week ahead.